Hello, Gun Nation. How's everyone doing this evening? We will go ahead and kick it off and let everybody else jump in. Cheers, everyone. We're having some noteworthy this evening. So we'll do a quick roll call. And yes, we do have a lot of stuff to talk about, some new guns that are coming out. I even found out about a new one today that y'all don't know about. Um, all right. Let's see here. We've got Mike High. We've got Scott 79, Pistol Pete. Like I said, I know I'm early. CZ Shadow 2, Dirt Track, Ranger 10. Let's see here. Ranger 10 just got a Romeo 8T and a Dead Air Wolfman suppressor to go across 3 different platforms. That's cool. Hey, what's up, Channel Cat? How are you, man? Dizzy Diz. All right. And Dennis Buckner, we will kick it off. Let's see here. And y'all see what I named the chat. It's the best ever. I've actually had about, well, probably in the last 2 weeks, I've probably had that comment or seen that comment probably about 7 or 8 times. Man, that's the best ever. Mine's the best ever. This particular gun is the best ever. Is there really a best ever gun? I mean, and there's probably a lot of guns that you like, but to say the best ever, I mean, there's a lot of stuff that probably we all haven't tried. So I hate to use that term, that and game changer, and I've even used the term game changer, but everybody used the best ever and game changer probably way more than they should. Hey, what's up, Josh Benware? How are you, man? Milkman. Let's see. Dizzy Diz is asking, question, how wide is the MPA DS9 grip compared to the Staccato grip? They're really about the same, to be honest with you. And I'm probably a bad comparison person because I have XXL hands. I haven't had either one of them shaved down or anything like that. And of course, they both take the exact same mag. Um, if anything, the DS9 might be a tad thicker, all the way around circumference wise, maybe just a tad. But I mean, they both feel great. I don't know. I haven't measured them. I mean, I haven't put like calipers on them or any of that kind of stuff, but they seem very comparable to me. To a smaller handed person or something like that. They might be a little bit different. I'm not sure. You need a DS9. I have 2 DS9s. Are you talking to me? Oh, no, I guess he's probably talking to Dizzy Diz. Hello, Chris. How are you, man? The Gunfighter 45. And after my chat, don't forget to tune in to Chris and Hot Pot over on Chris 740's chat also. Especially if you're into reloading. I mean, they have a lot of information, a lot of great people over there to get you learned up. Let's see here. Hey, Pranic, how are you, man? Yeah, I know you were talking to him. Okay, we do have some new guns that are coming out. And y'all have probably, we've kind of been chatting on them here about this, but you've got the new Springfield Prodigy 2011. And y'all don't know this, but that gun is actually made by Alpha Foxtrot. So that is who makes it. Alpha Foxtrot is like a huge company in North Korea. I think they do have a branch in Georgia also. They own, or Foxtrot is in Georgia, but their big plant, I think, is in North Korea or Korea. But they've done a lot of like kind of copy guns. They've done a Glock. They've done a 1911 that takes the new S15 mags. Then they've got this one that's very similar to a Staccato. Matter of fact, I mean, I'll let this out of the bag if y'all don't know. Alpha Foxtrot, back when it was STI, they used to do all the cuts for Staccato. They would send out everything, they would cut it, they would send it back. And so Alpha Foxtrot did a ton of that for STI. So there's that. Now, as far as the quality of the gun, I don't know. Springfield's kind of like putting their name on it, but they're not the one manufacturing it. And I don't know the quality of Alpha Foxtrot personally. I've never shot it. I have tried to see if any place around me has those Springfields so I could physically put my hands on them. But from what you've seen, it's got the new Staccato texturing, the aggressive texturing. I don't know if the mags are proprietary or if they're going to be standard 2011 mags. That'll be something there. They're going to have an optic ready version and a non-optic ready version. I don't know as far as what type of plates it's going to take. And from what I've heard, it doesn't come with the plates. They're going to be additional. I don't know if you can get them straight from, Springfield, or if it's an outside party. I don't know that either. They're going to be, from what I hear, the non-optic ready is 1500, and then the optic ready is 1600. So if you're looking for a 2011, that could be a very, very nice entry level, or get into gun. For that price, they do have to be MIM parts and things like that, but that is what it is. But I'm interested in seeing it. I'm sure we're going to probably see some reviews on it and what people think about it. So I guess when we see that, we'll see that. But I personally haven't put my hands on it. I believe TFB has a couple of copies of it, so I'm sure they're going to be letting us all know about it as soon as they can, release the video. Pranic got an F1 team shirt. Oh, Red Bull, yeah, that guy's a beast, man. Max. Let's see here. Happy birthday, Ranger 10. My birthday is tomorrow. Was given the money to buy all the above items. Can you say hell yes? Happy birthday, man. Yeah, Bald and Curious, I think it's time for, you to tell them to pump sand. Yeah, the Gunfighter, they actually did have one of them in the store before. It was just a standard 1911. They had it in the store, and I saw it, but I didn't take it out, play with it. I didn't do any of that, but they don't have it now. I guess they sold it, but I think they normally keep a couple of them in stock at times. And they might still show them on their website. I don't know. Let's see here. What's up, LW? LW Road. Let's see here. I'm just trying to catch up. So we do have like I said, we've got the new Springfield Prodigy, and also I've got a new item here. I have used it the past 2 days. I'll be able to show this. And I'm not going to give a total opinion because honestly, using it for 2 days for me, y'all know me. When I get something, I test it for like a week or two, or sometimes, and then I'll do a review. So I don't really want to give an opinion on it yet. I'm just going to show it. Y'all are going to be the first ones to see it because there won't be a video for a while probably. But we'll get to that in just a second. Also, I don't know if y'all have seen the new Ruger 5.7 rifle. If any of y'all are interested in it, it does take the Ruger 57 mags, so that Ruger pistol. So it takes those mags. Of course, you can put a lot of 22 suppressors on it, such as dead air, stuff like that, that will run multi-caliber like 22 Magnum 5.7. You can put a suppressor on it. It kind of has a neat little adjustable stock where it keeps your cheek well, but it kind of moves the stock back. It looks kind of cool. I mean, I saw Plinkster got one and was shooting it. Looks kind of cool. And I mean, it's 5.7, so, but I didn't know if any of y'all were interested in that. What's up, Gun Snob? How are you, man? Let's see here. So there's that, the new Ruger 5.7. Also, the new M&P steel. It's basically called the 2.0 metal. So it is a 9mm, kind of it looks like the full size. Correct me if I'm wrong, because it takes 17 round mags. Might be the 4.5 inch slide is what it looks like. 17 rounds. It's an all alloy frame. It is optic ready. is anybody interested in that? And I'll give you my opinion. Just let me know if you want an alloy M&P 9mm. I think it's cool if somebody wants an alloy gun. Um, and it comes in a tungsten kind of Cerakote color, which is kind of cool. But you do lose, the aggressiveness on the sides. You just have the front and the rear back strap for your aggressiveness, if that matters to y'all. I don't know the weight and stuff on it yet, but I'm sure we will find that out. All right. What's up, James Johnson? How are you, man? 30 ounces. Okay. That's cool. And then FN is going to come out with a new pistol. They're actually, I think it releases. It might be next week. So this is nobody's done a video. I was just going to tell you all about it. Anyway, it's a new FN pistol. It's the FN 509 comped. So from the factory, it comes with a removable comp, and it's not like you have to unscrew those two screws to take the comp off. It's actually like, from what I understand, a quick release comp. So kind of like the Hellcat Pro or the Hellcat, it's got that little deal in it where you can just pop it off the front. So, but what I understand, it's going to be like a pretty small grip. It's more like smaller than a compact grip, but it takes 17 round mags to extend that grip. It is going to be optic ready. Not going to be cheap because it's an FN, but it is going to be a comped version. So it's kind of like a Glock 19X where it's got the longer, or this one has the, like a 4 to a 4.5 inch slide, and then a 17 round capacity with a sleeve, I believe, on the magazine. So that they'll have that option if anybody's interested in it. FN from Belgium. Out of the box comp is becoming the new thing. Yeah, I mean, comps work, and I've said this before. I've got comps that are awesome. I've got a bunch of comped guns. I've got comps that are awesome and really, really make a huge difference. And then I have some that help, but they're not like spectacular. And I'm not trying to throw anybody under the bus, but probably the least impressive comps that I own are the primary machine. I've got one for the P07, one for the P09, one for the CZ P10C, the stubbies, the longs. You can just look the way they're vented, and you just don't get maximum. I mean, they work, but not as good as some other comps. So, it is what it is. But I do like a comp gun, and I've had the people that said comps are stupid because it's only a 9mm. Well, if you can shave off any time and be even slightly a little bit more accurate with it, why not have it? That's the way I look at it. Hell, I even have comps on 22s because it does. I mean, you can watch them even on the 22s. Those suckers are just blazing that gas out of there. So they do work. But let's see here. Yeah, Shadow Systems, they have that new comped gun coming out also, and I think they're going to make like a race type USPSA gun from what I hear. I don't know if they will, but that's what I hear. So there's that. I did have I posted it on the community if anybody cares, but I did have a tire separation. A lot of people, I think Pranic was like, man, that tire's worn out. Actually, if you go deeper into the center of the tread and all the other three, those tires were not worn out. They actually had they probably had 30 seconds left, which is still plenty. I mean, I could still get some life out of them. But when it separated, one side was real high and it started wearing that high side off. So that's why it looks like the tread is completely shaved down. But, if y'all are familiar with belt separations, and you can get them from hitting a pothole, anything like that. And of course, I've gone through tons of potholes. And it probably happened when I was in El Paso because I was up in downtown El Paso. And there's some bad, the old part of El Paso. There's some bad streets there, man. I mean, if it would have been a car, it probably would have taken the whole damn body out of the car. But I'm sure that's where it happened. And when I was driving back, I noticed it, pulled over, saw the separation, and I was like, well, and I've driven on separated tires before. Um, and I was able to drive in. Then I had to order the new tires because they don't keep those in stock. My size, they're not super common, and the price of them aren't super common. So I had to order the ones that I wanted, and they got those in. So I got those, and I just went ahead and got 4 new ones, but they weren't cheap. They're like $318 a piece, plus mounting, balancing, all that shit. So I did go with the Recon, or the Nitto Recon Grappler ATs. I already had the Nitto ATs, but these are the Grappler ATs. The Recons, they're different. A little more aggressive, and then I had some people ask me if I was going to go with a street tire. My truck's 4-wheel drive. I do go off in the mud periodically, dirt roads, shit like that. So I wanted something a little more aggressive. Plus, I get a lot of mileage out of those things with the thicker lugs and the blocky sidewall. So I get more of an even wear versus the rounded wear like you do on a street tire. Yeah, Pranic, you did say 6/32. So, but yeah, I mean, those tires, I've gotten a ton of life out of those tires. So, hello, IBG. How are you? Hang on, I was trying to click another one. Y'all need to check out the new H&M Defense 300 Blackout AR. It uses a new pin system to regulate between supers and subs. No more messing with buffer springs and buffers. That's cool. You can also get a bolt. They do have a special design bolt where you can adjust it from there too. But Ball is saying Big Johnson Guns and Gear tires on my 3500 are shot after 23,000 miles. New ones are going on tomorrow, freaking $1,600. Yeah, I just spent that too, or I spent 1,500, and I believe yours are E-load ranged. Mine's are D because of the dualies. But 23,000 miles, man, that's. I mean, most in the way that the car corporations bid on those tires is they throw out a size to all the manufacturers, whether it be Michelin, Goodyear, Cooper, whoever. And they're just like, we need this size as cheap as we can get them. So it's one of those bullshit bids. If it's Goodyear, they win a lot of them, and those tires suck. So you're lucky you got 23,000 miles out of them. That's why I don't buy that shit. Dealt with that crap too much. Let's see here. Hello, Matt Moore. How are you? Trigger Bar, how are you? Let me catch up here. I mean, 23,000 miles is good for Z load range or like super performance tires. Um, hell, my wife's car, of course, it's hopped up and stuff, but, Hellcat type wheels. But those are, shit, I'm lucky, very, very lucky if we get between 18 and 20,000 miles out of them. But of course, when I drive it, there's a lot less tread. But there it is. Hello, Abigail. How are you? Hey, what's up, Marcus? How are you, man? I saw on a chat that you are getting your MPA maybe this week or next week. That'll be awesome, man. Congratulations. I know you're going to like it. This channel is getting close to 20K, Big Johnson Guns and Gear. Yeah, I just passed over 19,000, and it's all because of y'all. So I really, really appreciate it. Appreciate y'all hanging out for the ride. Yeah, and that's the thing on some of the Nittos and stuff that I've gotten. I've gotten 70,000 miles out of some of my truck tires before, and the AT, being all terrain, and they don't really they don't chatter or get cupped because I mean I do rotate them every 5,000 miles. I do alignments. I mean all that shit square. It's just where I drive. I'm in a good mood this week with all this ultra MAGA, semi fascist BS hate. I'm just a regular dude trying to provide for my family. Wife says I need to stay off the news always. 3-day weekend ahead. Yeah, no, it is. I understand. We're the we're the radicals. Yeah. Hello, Parts by Teddy. How are you, Lake Ozark guy? Appreciate y'all being on. Uh, yes, I did, Lamarcus. And what I was going to say on that, when Aaron got his gun from MPA, that was because Aaron's had that gun for a long time. He bought it and he's had it for a long time. So that review was his, like, if you followed him on Instagram or whatever, somebody sent me, I don't do Instagram and I haven't in a long time, but like a year ago or 8 months ago, 9 months ago or something, I mean, it's been a long ass time. Somebody sent me a video of Aaron checking that trigger on his DS9. So, and that was the old pistol builder that was with MPA. So David Lyle is the new pistol builder, and he's been there about 7 or 8 months. Matter of fact, just so y'all know, my MPA was built by the old pistol builder. My DS9 Carry, the Commander, was built by David. So, you know, I've shown it on my video. I had some chatter marks on around the barrel ramp and stuff like that, but you're not going to get that with David building your gun. And David has built Lamarcus's gun. So if you notice, I still have the old trigger in my gun. That was from the old pistol builder and stuff. The newer triggers have the M in them. So that is one quick way to see if yours is the new gun, and you'll have that in yours, Lamarcus. So yeah, David knows what he's doing. He's actually a grandmaster in open, and I think he's a grandmaster in carry optics. But he's been building pistols for a long time, so he definitely knows what he's doing. And I'm glad they got Aaron taken care of pretty quickly, and that was good that David did it. When he sent it back in, David fixed him all up. And a lot of that, I mean, like hell, I had that problem with Staccato and they took care of it. So, and man, I get a lot of hate on that video, on that Staccato video. I mean, I just told the story of what happened and people were like, why are you bashing Staccato? And I'm like, dude, apparently you didn't even watch the video. So, I mean, I tell the truth on everything. So I just laid it out from first to last. But, there's obviously fanboys that are pissed off that I told the story that something broke. But, I'm going to tell you if something breaks. Also, I might as well get into it. I was kind of going back and forth if I was going to even tell y'all or not. But y'all are family, so I'm going to tell you. My whole department was actually let go this past Friday. So I have been with my company for 14 years. I mean, I'll go ahead and tell you my title now. It doesn't really matter, but I was a regional sales director. Had 5 guys, 5 guys who worked with me or under me or whatever you want to say. And my national boss. So there were a total of 7 of us. And basically, we all had a conference call on Friday. And we were told they're closing that whole department or they're going a different route. So I don't know what that is, but basically I was there for 14 years and I'm unemployed. So, I don't like talking about a whole bunch of personal stuff. However, I keep everything real. Y'all know that. So I just figured I'm not looking, for, I'm so, don't, I mean, I appreciate all of y'all and I'm sure you're going to say that. But, it's the automotive business. So that's what I was in, major manufacturer for Dodge, Ford, Chevy, Nissan, Toyota. I'll just go ahead and tell you that. And if y'all know what's happening in the car business right now, it's not good. Ford laid off 20,000 people just like a week ago. Chevy's fixing to lay off, 15,000 more, or 15,000 too. I mean, it's not good right now. Y'all see the dealer lots, and that affected our business, my business. So that's what happened. So you know, don't have anything lined up. I'll be looking in a little while. Just wanted to kind of let y'all know. Keeping my head up, all that stuff, not a problem. It is what it is. But just wanted to let y'all know um, that's what's up. So, anyway, but we will move on. I've exchanged several emails with David Lyle. Good guy. Yes, he is. I mean, I haven't. What's funny is we've talked by email, but I don't know if I've ever spoke to him in person. He was on Humble's chat last night. I've already invited the president and David and another gentleman from MPA. They're going to be on the chat also. We're just trying to get a time where all of them can be on at the same time. I didn't want to just have one and not the other. So we're trying to get it worked out where all three of them, or at least two of them, can be on the chat. They've agreed to it. We're just trying to lock down a time where it works for everybody. So they haven't forgotten me. I haven't forgotten them. I really do like their guns a lot. So it is going to work out. So just please bear with me. Any opinion on the new metal frame M&P? I never liked M&P because of the hinge trigger, but they fixed that, and I like what they're doing lately. Yeah, and I didn't actually give my opinion. The MSRP on that gun is going to be $899 for the alloy 2.0 metal frame is what they're calling it. So I don't know where it's going to come in street price. Maybe 700, maybe a little more than that. For an alloy gun, that's not bad. However, here's my big however. The end of the day, it's still a striker fire gun. Now it is going to be, heavier in the hand. It's probably going to shoot a little flatter. I do like what they're doing. I think, other guns should be offered in alloy also. Maybe if they want to do the polymer version and an alloy version, that could give people choices. I personally wouldn't buy it. I have no need for it, but I think it's a good option. But at the end of the day, I don't know if that striker fire gun, and it could be a little flatter because it's alloy, but I don't know if that striker fire gun is going to be any better than another striker fire gun or another striker fire gun. And this is where I was going with the title of this chat. It's the best ever, and we have all been through it. Every gun person out there has been through this. It's the placebo effect. You buy something new. It's your oh my God, this thing's, earth shattering. This is the best ever. This is game changing. Um, yes, a single action trigger can make you a better shooter, but if you've got bad habits and you've got bad trigger discipline and all that other shit, is it going to make you better? Not necessarily. So, just be wise when you decide to get something, unless you just want to get a little bit of everything. I mean, there's nothing wrong with that either. I just don't know if there's going to be much difference between that other than the weight. So, and y'all know I'm a little over the Tupperware guns. Nothing wrong with them. It's just I've been there, kind of get tired of it. Not that I still don't enjoy shooting them. I have plenty of them, but they're just not everyday things for me. Thank you, Scott. I appreciate it. You were not bashing. It's a good story. They took care of the issue. Correct. I mean, I just wanted, and I told everybody, apparently the people that were saying this don't follow me. They just watched the video and they were like, you shouldn't have said, major fail. I had some people saying, why did you say major fail? It wasn't a major fail. As I said in the video, if you go to shoot it and maybe you get one shot off and then it sticks out of battery, most people, they're probably going to try a tap rack bang. Most newbies wouldn't do that. They would be like, oh, hell, what's wrong? You can hammer the back. I mean, I knew to do it because I could push it with my thumb. As I'm pulling the trigger, I can just throw that thumb up there and hit the back. But most average people are not saying I know everything because I don't, but I guess, more than average gun persons will not know that. So, yes, it was a major fail. If you fire the trigger or pull it and then it doesn't fire anything else, that's a major fail. It could have been really bad. Could I have worked through it? Yes. But in a split decision, you only have so much time. So in my eyes, it was a major fail. But they did fix it. So that's that. Chris said, got to see the new MPA open gun in action over the weekend, and damn, it is nuts. Yeah, I mean, it's a nice looking gun. Thank you, IBG. I appreciate it. Thanks, Gun Snob. Thanks, Abigail. Yep, I will do that, Matt. Thank you. Thanks, Mike High. Thanks, Ranger. Thanks, KO4. Yeah, Lake Ozark, we're all of us were all around in different states and all of that stuff. So they did what they did. It is what it is, you know. But like I said, y'all are family. I want to let y'all know a little bit about it. And Brian, that's the way I'm looking at it. You will be appreciated much more in your next position. So when one door closes, another door opens. If y'all don't know, and I really haven't ever talked about it, I am in sales. I had probably, I did 5 states, had thousands of customers. You know what's crazy? And like I said, we're on a roll here, having a drink, relaxed. I have actual trophies, or awards, I guess you should say awards. They're thick, huge lead crystal awards. Um, you know, been with them 14 years, number one salesperson 14 years in a row, every single month. My guys did a great job too. So, but I've got these, I think I've got, I don't know, 2 or 3 of them. I mean, they're huge. They're like, I don't know, they're that big and it's that thick and, like a big diamond looking thing of crystal. And I thought, what can I do with those? I don't need them now. What can I do with them? So I was thinking about shooting them, not to be disrespectful to the company, but I mean, I think it might be cool for a video, but I don't know. I can probably talk to Texas Gun Experience and see, hey, can I shoot these? Maybe do a lane deal or get into another area where nobody's going to be there. We shut the door, blow them up, and then I sweep them up and throw them away. But let me know what you think about that. Is it dumb, or should I keep them, or should I just throw them away? Tell me what y'all think. We might do something fun with them. Let's see here. Yeah, Ranger 10, I saw that. California banning gas cars by 2035. Did you see the report tonight? In California, they're having gridlock. So they've asked all the people to not run any electricity and do not charge their electric cars between 4 and 9 o'clock every day. Do not charge your vehicle and do not run any electrical AC. They're trying to get everybody to shut everything down between 4 and 9 in California. But they're asking everybody to go electric cars. They just announced that tonight. They're having major problems. Well, Bald, I would never move to New York, and you can't afford me. What's funny, Gun Snob? You are not the first person to tell me that. I've already had 3 of my buddies go, dude, you could start an OnlyFans. I'm like, the name might work. Who knows? You know, uh, I had some stuff happen in college. So, oh boy. Thank you, Trigger Bar. I appreciate it. Yeah, and that's MSRP, the 899. So I don't know if that's what it's going to land at. Smith and Wesson usually shoots their stuff really high and they bring it down. However, it is a brand new model, new alloys, so they might stick to that. Yeah, and that's what I talked about earlier, Snowman. We were talking about the new Springfield Prodigy 2011, and it is made by Foxtrot, uh, Alpha Foxtrot for Springfield. So I don't know. We'll have to see. You know. Thanks, Brandon. I appreciate you, man. I have an all metal Jericho 941. I love the weight of that thing. Yeah, I mean, I've shot Jerichos before. They're nice guns, and they are pretty heavy. They're like little tanks. A 1.0 rifle with a 2.5 pound trigger ain't shit with an 8 MOA trigger jerk. Yeah, no, I agree. You have to have your basics down. Wow. My local shop bought a used Staccato for 800 bucks. Pretty sure that's going to end up on the manager's personal wall. I bet you it will too. Somebody was probably pretty desperate for money, and I know people tend to sell a lot of stuff during desperate times. And I'm not going to do that, of course, but I know people need money, and you know some of those places take advantage of people during desperate times, and they'll try to steal shit from them. So I'm at a crossroads of what I should collect and get next. I got all the classic CZs I want and feel like that is complete. I need a new series. Got the Anaconda, so maybe the new snake revolvers. Yeah, Triple C is collecting all the snake revolvers. He's got a ton of them. So he's been collecting them over the years, I think for his son and himself too. Shoot them. Uh, Good content. Shoot them. Shoot them. I'm in sales and I have been my whole life. These awards don't mean squat. I'm always, what are you doing for me next? Yeah, I understand. I was always really good to my guys. Here's one. Keep them. You'll probably look back differently in 20 years. I mean, these things are huge and they're freaking heavy. And I am wanting to kind of minimize a bunch of shit out of my gun room here. Don't shoot them. That's like throwing out pictures of high school girlfriends. Yeah, Tannerite would be crazy. Let's see what he's saying here. California are also asking for non-charge at times to avoid brownouts. Yeah, that's what they were pitching this evening. Lamarcus saying there, keepsakes, hold on to them. Yeah, and I mean that's just the crystal ones. I've got like big binders with award plaques on the front of them. I've got briefcases I don't even use, like really nice. I got an alligator briefcase. I don't even use that one. That was another award. So yeah, Scott, we were talking about that earlier. The new 5.7 LC carbine. Yeah, I mean, I think it's a good option if somebody wants that. Hey, what's up, Clyde? How are you? Let's see here. Okay, and this is actually a really good question. ZZ Shadow 2 says, question, if you could buy an AR-15 or a PCC 9mm, what would you buy? PCCs are really, really fun, but here's where I will go with this. If you don't have a good AR, I would buy a good AR. And then here's where I'll flip this. Because with an AR lower and AR magazines and the AR bolt carrier groups and the AR charging handle, all AR-15, you can actually get a 300 blackout upper. Just slap the completed upper on there. Now you've got 300 blackout. So you can have two rifles or two calibers in one. You can't do that with a PCC. At the end of the day, you're still shooting 9mm. I mean, it's very effective, because you're getting more velocity out of it too. But I mean, they're fun. They're super fun. I love mine. But if you're in the situation where you have to choose between the two, with a 5.56, you can shoot a heavier grain bullet. You can shoot 77 grain, uh, and then you can opt to put the 300 blackout barrel on there or the upper. It just snaps right on. I mean, on my ultimate truck gun video, y'all can look at that. So I've got the 300 blackout set up, and then I've got a 5.56 complete upper loaded with bolt carrier group, charging handle, same optic, same light. They both have cloud defensive lights. They both have prism scopes on them, so they're set up identical. The only difference is one is painted more black for the blackout, so I can see it quickly, and they're also stamped on the little dust cover that folds down. And I use the exact same lower, so I kind of did a color combo to where it works with both uppers. And a lot of people really love that setup since they saw it, and some people said, "Man, I'm going to do that." So just gives you two options with that one. Oh boy, Golly Roberts. I need the Ron Jeremy mustache for OnlyFans. Yeah. Then I probably shouldn't do that because then Grand Thumb would try to shoot me. I don't know if y'all have watched his videos, but he's got that Ron Jeremy guy on his videos. Hey, old timer, what are you pumping these days, diesel or unleaded? Unleaded. Don't have any more diesels. Had them for a long time, though. Wow. Manager asked the guy what he wanted for the gun, and the guy told him 800 bucks. And I'm assuming it's probably not optic ready, but you can have them milled. So that's, man, that's a hell of a price. I would have bought it. What's up, MD Polo? How are you, man? The Dim One in Alaska. No, I have not. Dim One in Alaska. I haven't, Trigger Bar. I'll check into the Dim One. Keep them until you get your next job. May need them to show your accomplishments. If I need to drag in freaking big ass trophies, I mean, I've got excellent recommendations. So I don't know if I'll need trophies, but whatever. And nowadays the way they look at it, and I totally disagree with this, but nowadays everybody gets a trophy. Thumbs up that chat. Yes, sir. Yes, ma'am. Everybody out there, I'd appreciate it. Like the video. Yes. Slicey Slicer says, my uncle would disagree with your setup, Big Johnson. I don't know which setup you're talking about. I guess diesel or unleaded. It's a bad thing unless you have an old diesel. You got to use the that freaking DEF fluid bullshit, which is a scam. You also lose a lot of freaking power. They don't make the good old 12 valves anymore like they used to with all that, with the resonators and all that bullshit off of it. Ooh. Back in January of 2000, I pawned two guns at the pawn shop across the street from the gun shop where I purchased them, and I was really hurting for cash. I messed around and got a DUI that night. Hard lesson. Yeah, man. That is. Yeah. Oh, wow. Did not know that. 63 peeps in here and only 4 likes. Wow. Come on, people. Pump that up. Big J, my company is hiring if you're near Plano and don't mind selling your soul to work for evil, Big Blue, Donut, Big Bank. Yeah, I mean, I've got tons of contacts. I'm just absorbing everything, kind of looking around, seeing what's going on. MD Polo saying maybe you already discussed this, but who else is not impressed by the new SIG macro or the SIG 365X macro? So y'all know what we're talking about. It doesn't do anything for me. However, fans of the 365 might really appreciate it. Um, and I'll say it again, and y'all can be mad at me or not. SIG triggers or SIG 320s, 365s, even Legions, the triggers suck. They're freaking horrible. All that squishy bullshit and that doing when you pull the trigger, doing, I can't stand it. The reset sucks. Um, the CZP10F, the CZP10C blows those triggers out of the water, stock. And even if you do the gray guns trigger and all that, it still only makes it a little better. I've had the Apex triggers in 3 SIGs, 2 320s, and that 320 or that X, not the Legion, but it was the non-tungsten Legion, I guess you could say. Um, I had the Apex in that too, and it did make it better, but it's just not great. But when you're shooting it, it's fine. I mean, you can work through that trigger, and yes, it's very functional. I'm not trying to beat up a gun, just my opinion, and we're all allowed to have opinions. I just do not like the SIG triggers at all. If they could change that trigger, I think it would be a much better gun. If they could also lower that bore axis, you know, SIG 320s, that whole model has been around forever. If they could lower that bore axis, and I'm not saying I can't shoot a higher bore axis gun, I can. The Staccato is not super low bore axis either. Um, However, they just need a reface rather than coming out with all these new guns. I think if they just totally revamped the 320 line and just lowered the bore axis, kind of cleaned up the trigger, did some other things to it, it would actually even make it more exciting for a person like me. So, not hating on your gun. Please don't get mad at me. But it is what it is. Yes, you're exactly correct. The only thing also, I will say this on the 6.4 Hemi and the diesel, there is much more resale value in a diesel than a gas engine. So that is true there. Yeah, Scott, you're pretty much summing it up. SIG is pulling a Glock, stick a bunch of features in a bag, shake it up. Now you've got the new hotness. And like Bald and other people, Keenan and all them were making all these configurations with the Glocks, or excuse me, with the SIGs before SIG started doing all this because they were seeing what other people were doing. So now they're kind of just doing it all and charging you more. So, but it is what it is. Yeah, and I do like SIG's hammer fired guns, like their Legion series and stuff. Their metal Legion 226, 229s, all that stuff. I mean, those are nice guns. Big J, I shot competition and sent my 320 Legion to SIG Armor. That's the company name. And oh my gosh, that is fantastic. I have a C2, and while it's not better than the C2, it is close. Well, that's good, man. I mean, but it's kind of like, okay, you're spending all this money on that gun, and I don't know how much you had to spend to send it to that place to have it done, but kind of at the end of the day, there's guns you can just go out and buy that are still better than it. And if you those other guns, you could probably even make those better and probably cheaper. Let's see here. What would be your recommendation as an entry level 1911? My budget is between $800 and $1,000. On a 1911, I'm just going to say this. People might not like it, but do not get a Rock Island. I've seen way, way too many problems with those. Um, and they have the Grishons and stuff like that. And I'm not saying that those are bad guns. However, if you ever want to resell it and you don't like it, you are going to hand it to someone else. You're going to take an ass whipping on that gun. And to this day, every gun I have sold, I have made money on it. And a lot of them I bought new. So, and I don't sell a whole ton of guns, but every one I've sold, I've made money. So on that one, And you might even look at something used. I like the Smith & Wesson Performance Center 1911s. They're actually pretty nice. I love Dan Wesson 1911s, but they're definitely more expensive than that. And here's what I'm going to tell you. This would be my recommendation. Your budget is between 800 and 1,000. If I were you, I wouldn't stop at 1,000. I would save up till you can probably get about $1,500 to $1,600, and then I would get a Dan Wesson. If you want a 1911, if you want a 2011, you might hold off. And this new Springfield 2011 might be good, but you're not going to get anything super great in the 800 to 1,000. You might get a Sig, and they're okay. They're not bad. They need some trigger work, but I would save more and get something that you're going to be completely happy with, not something you're settling for. That would be my recommendation. Yeah, the 365 Spectre comp and that comp is useless. I will agree with this. I've been shooting comps forever. I'm not saying I'm the comp master. However, there's a difference between a screw-on comp or a comp that is attached to the barrel where you cannot have any blowback going down the slide. And also by shortening the barrel, you're losing velocity, but shortening the barrel and then just extending the slide with some vents in it, you know, to me, and I'm just saying to me, it seems very jicky. It seems like, hey, look at this gadget. It seems gimmicky. I'm not saying it doesn't help a little bit, but it is not going to be as good as a actual comp that is literally threaded to the barrel to lock on the barrel to make all the gas go up, not all around it and out the front. So that's all I'll say about that. Yeah, Collie, that's what we are just talking about. Let's see here. Do electric vehicles require less people to make than gas powered cars? Seeing like every car manufacturer announces an electric vehicle followed by massive layoffs. Yes, to be honest with you, electric cars are actually easier to work on and build. You put the battery trays in the bottom, hook everything up. You have your individual motors on the wheels, and you're just putting the suspension on there. It's actually they're not that difficult to put together. So it does require less people. You can do a lot of it on a lift, and then they bring the battery tray in on another lift, and they bring that lift up and line it up, and you screw the battery trays in, and they're not that difficult. So yeah, Dennis, I agree. So I'm not hating on anybody. I'm only giving my opinion, and I've had tons of SIGs. Y'all can go back and look. But yeah, and bull armories are very nice guns. The only thing with their 2011s is their mags are proprietary, so that's what sucks about it. And you can get, I forgot about that. You can get the bull armory 1911 for I think like $845, and that's a nice gun. So I did forget about that one. But their 2011s are proprietary mags. That's why I don't own any of them. Well, Matt, you're probably way younger than me. I, you know, it can happen. I'm just going to say that because the more you get, the more safes you get. I mean, I have 5 safes, so it gets really stupid. So don't ever say never. Just telling you that. I said the same thing way back when. Yeah, and that's the thing with Dan Wesson. You're not going to lose any money on that gun. They do have a really high resale value. So that I kind of look at something like that. Like if, like what Lawrence was talking about, if something came up and you had to get rid of something, it's going to hold some value to where you're going to really get value out of it. If you've got a bunch of paperweights or inexpensive guns, you're going to get. I mean, you're not going to get anything for them because they're out in the wild. They're everywhere. So that's the only thing. Can't stand loud tires. Turn up the radio, you old fogey. Actually, my tires really aren't loud. Yes, they are. The carbon footprint on batteries is way, way, way worse than, I mean, if you really break it down and you can go in and Google it, you can look at all the breakdown on electric vehicles. The carbon footprint is way worse. They've got all these people brainwashed. And you know what they say that they recycle them? They don't. Not like they should. There's piles and piles and piles of those batteries, just so you know. Let's see here. Oh, also, and Keenan let us be aware of this. Keenan Gillum, uh, going forward, supposedly with the Sig Rattlers, the Sig Cane brakes, all of like the little PDW Sigs, Sig is not putting braces on them. So when you get yours, it will not have a brace. So I don't know if it's, maybe they know something we don't know that's coming down the pipe. But the way I look at it is if something comes down the pipe and they say, okay, everybody who has one, they're grandfathered in or whatever, um, you didn't get one with your gun. So that's kind of chintzy. And they're not lowering the price when they take the brace off. So be aware of that too. Um, but I don't know. I think SIG should have just left it on there. It seems kind of like they're folding to me. But it is what it is. So, but he had a contact, and this is Keenan Gillum. He had a contact at SIG that he spoke with, and they said, yeah, going forward, they're not shipping with braces. Since they have all the military contracts, maybe they know something we don't know as of yet, but it is what it is. And yes, Kali, I do agree with that. Buy once, cry once when it comes to firearms. And here's the deal. You don't have to have 75 firearms. You don't have to. You just need some good quality firearms that you know that are going to last, that are going to work, that are going to be reliable, and things like that. So if you've got a bunch of like 20 budget guns, I would recommend getting rid of some of those budget guns and have maybe 5 or 6 super reliable, maybe higher end guns. And I'm not saying high end equals quality or reliability. I'm not trying to say that. But we all know, and me, I've had shit on these two hands, been shooting for 40 years plus. I've had more than this failures of different types of guns. So there you go. I actually shoot. I don't shoot 50 rounds and put it in a drawer. I think y'all see what I do. So yeah, I've had problems with pistols, and it's been every manufacturer: Glock, Smith & Wesson, Staccato, POF. Y'all all saw that on my POF Rogue. And these aren't cheap guns. Some of these aren't cheap guns. So shit can happen. Wilson Combats do hold their value, but it also depends on they're also a unique buyer. Wilson Combat, or excuse me, Dan Wesson is kind of for the average, mid-average person. Wilson Combat is for your higher end person, so they are harder to sell. You have to find a certain buyer to buy them. So I'll say that. Yes, I'm old. It's just like if you've got a vehicle for sale, if you've got a McLaren, you got to find the McLaren buyer. Not everybody's going to run out and buy a McLaren. It's kind of the same with guns. No, Keenan just put out a video talking about SIG braces. Nothing happened to Keenan. I just wanted to give him credit on that video. I hate it when people, use information. And I know sometimes I forget too, but when I remember, I want to try to give people credit for it. Let's see if I covered it. Oh, also, I did tell you at the first of the chat, I wanted to show you something. I'll let you know the name of the holster maker. It is Alpha. I don't know how well you can see this. Alpha Omega Kydex holsters. Alpha Omega Kydex holsters. So this is a holster I've been testing for the last couple of days. I'm not going to give an opinion on it, but I've carried it for 2 days straight, from morning till night. And here it is. So y'all know me. I don't like plain shit. I like stuff loud and crazy. It does have the DCC clips. So these are the metal clips. This is called the monoblock. It does have the claw. It does not have a wedge. I probably will add a wedge to it, but I'm testing it as it is so I can give full input. And y'all will see that it's pretty big. It's actually bigger than 5 inches. This is designed to hold the Staccato P with the Threat Cadre comp. So this will have the comp inside, so it's not hanging out of the bottom. So I think on this one, it's just barely a tad on each side, which is not a big deal. But this is a big ass holster. It's not a little boy. It is bigger than a 5-inch holster. But I can also put my C2 in it. It fits my MPA DS9. It fits my DS9 carry. And only with the X300 on it. So it is light bearing. So I'll give a report on this. I just want to let you know I have been using it for 2 days straight testing it. And when it ships, you get the big wedge, the taller one, and you also get the shorter one. So it's up to whatever you want to use. And I think there's a sticker and there's a patch in there, which is pretty cool. But it's Alpha Omega Kydex, and its prices are actually very good. So there you go. Big J, you think you will ever port your Staccato P or MPA Commander DS9? Gunworks has a V8 port that could really work nice. No, on the smaller, the shorter ones, I don't really want to take any velocity out of them. I know it only loses like 60, but I'm not really worried about it that much. On the Staccato, my C2 and my P, I run the Threat Cadre comp, and those comps work. I mean, I've got videos where those things are on rails. They do not move at all. I mean, the dot never even moves, even like just as fast as I can pull the trigger. So I really, really do like the comps. Now it does. They require them to be longer, which we all know. However, this holster and some other holsters, they're fine in it. But, and since I have the C2 and I have the stock barrel and the threaded barrel with the comp on it, I even thought about taking the C2 and porting it, like Monsoon Tactical or something, doing that. And then I could pull that barrel out, put the threaded barrel in, and it would cover the hole for the chunk port, in the slide. And then I could use the comp. So whenever I wanted to switch it over, I could do both. So I actually thought about doing that. But I did shoot a comped gun it was a comped C2 compared to my I shot a comped C2 and compared it to my, let me rephrase this. I shot a ported C2 and compared it to my comped C2. And to me, not placebo, it was on video, the comp worked better than the port. So for what it is, Not saying it might not be different for you. I'm not saying any of that, but that's just what I've experienced. And I've had ported guns in the past. Ported guns are not new. I had an old 1911 that was ported. Matt, if you know anything about me, I don't do plain shit. I like loud shit. So I like shit because when I grab this holster, I know what it fits. If all of your holsters, as many guns as I have, all your holsters are black, you don't know what the hell fits what. So I definitely like crazy shit. And I like my guns to be unique and different and kind of put my stamp on it. So not just with holsters, I do the same with guns. Yeah, and actually I am going to be doing that, Pranic. I thought about taking my shadows. I've already got the dot back on the Shadow 2 and everything because way back when I had an SRO that shit the bed. So I did get a new SRO. I've got it mounted on there, and I do need to take it to the range and get it sighted in. So I will be shooting the Shadow 2s probably very soon. And I love the Shadow 2s, so I haven't gone away from them. Yeah, and I've never tried the Works holster. I know that Bald and Curious has them, I mean the guy does really great videos. Works holster, with all the lights and stuff. They kind of review all kinds of things. But if y'all have any questions after this chat, please leave them. I'll get to them just as quick as possible. Try to get you the answers you need. Questions, comments, opinions. Don't hate on me with the SIG situation. Everybody can like different things. That's why I say 31 flavors. Everybody can get what they want. Um, just my opinion. They're just not for me. And I've had plenty of them. So, but tune into Chris's chat if you would like to check that out. But I appreciate all the well wishes with the job situation. Like I said, with the way automotive is, I was kind of thinking, well, something might be coming, but I didn't know that quickly. And we will press on, bigger and better things down the road. So there we go with that. But I appreciate y'all so much. And if you need anything, please let me know. Well, hang on. Have you checked out the FK Bruno field pistol? I haven't personally shot one. I've actually played with them. I've played with the real metal one. It's really, really cool. And I know they have the polymer one. You can get, 10 millimeter, 40, all that stuff too. So that's pretty cool. But PO1 is too damn small for my hands. I've had videos on them and they're just too damn tiny. But they are great guns. They're just too damn tiny for me. So I appreciate everyone. Y'all have a great night. Stay safe. And remember, an unarmed nation is a very weak nation. So we all got to carry on. Thanks, everyone. Y'all take care.